Welcome to the live of Sales Builder Blueprint and talking about the business of sales. The difference in the sales world, there's two different types, okay? And I want you to think about these two different types, the business of sales and sales as a business. A lot of people in the sales world talk about sales as a business, and that is the closing aspect. Now, it's very important. You have to close deals in order to make money. I think that is obvious. What is not is it takes so much work just to get to the opportunity to close. And that is what is not talked about and discussed enough. It is, think of it on as a football field. You're taking the kickoff at the 25-yard line. Okay, there's a touchback. So you've got the ball at the 25-yard line, and you have 4 downs to go 10 yards to move the chains, and your goal is to get in the end zone. The end zone is the close. The end zone is getting somebody to sign on the dotted line, give a card, getting to your product or service. In order to get there, you have to have a process. You have to have a fundamental belief system. You have to have a skill set. You have to understand what the defense, in this case, the market, your competitors, are doing to try to stop you. If you can't move down the field, you're not going to be very successful. In fact, that really is, in essence, what is that struggle in football they can't do. They can't move the ball down the field. You will struggle in your sales career if you don't understand that chunk of yardage between the 25-yard line, your 25-yard line, and the red zone, which, if you're not familiar with football, is 20 yards and in of your opponent before the end zone. Your goal is to get into the red zone, and then you can take shots at closing the deal. Now, sometimes you're going to have opportunities to close deals. I mean, take Patrick Mahomes or any quarterback that can throw the ball very far. There are 70-yard touchdowns. It happens, but it's rare. It doesn't happen every single time you get the ball. So you should be trying to throw the ball on the field, trying to complete Hail Marys. That's not a very good strategy. It's not consistent and repeatable. And you want to think about those two words, consistent, repeatable. You want to build a sales process, a fundamental understanding of your business on how to consistently repeat your process and do it over and over and over again to move the ball down the field with each and every buyer, each and every client and prospect you come across. That is how you become successful in sales. And each time you meet with a buyer, you're going to be at a different yard line. Sometimes you're going to be at the 50-yard line. Laying the red zone, you're going to start at a better position based on the fact that they might know your product. They might have been aware. They might have trialed the product, but they haven't become a customer. In the sales world, there are 5 phases of a buyer. There's unaware, aware, trial, user, advocate. And your goal is to move your buyer along that cycle. You want everybody to be an advocate. Now, is that going to happen? No. But on the journey to getting them to become an advocate, you're going to get them to become a customer, and you're going to move them through that process, just like you are moving down the football field. And these are all going to be happening concurrently, simultaneously in your business. And you have to understand that. You can't just solely focus on one buyer at a time. You're going to have 125 buyers you're going to be working with. 125 targets. You could do 100, you could do 150. I like 125. I'm into 5 buckets, not phases, into 5 buckets, the target lists. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. The 10s and the 9s are the most important. That's where 80% of my business is going to come from. Possibly just the 10s. But if you do that, you're going to have 25 prospects, targets, or clients you're going after in each phase. 10s are more important than 6s. Not all clients are going to be the same. So you're going to want to focus on that as well. You don't want to treat everybody the same. You want to differentiate them. So if you take a step back, how do you differentiate them? Well, I was in the medical space for a very long time. I would look at the size of the practice. If there was a practice that had 5 physicians and I was selling a post-procedure kit, the chances are that 5-person office was going to give me more patients that could use my product than, say, a solo practitioner that was only open 4 days a week. Doesn't mean that they're not as important as far as what they're doing for their patients or their business. It's just the opportunity, before I knew anything else, before I've even asked my first question, the opportunity with that 5-physician office was greater. So they're a 10. And then I go through the process, and then I go through and start figuring out, but you have to identify who you're going to be going after, where you're going to be spending your time, and then you always adjust afterwards. So really being great in sales is this constant movement, this constant flow, kind of being like water, Bruce Lee. You have to be able to adapt, adjust to what the market is telling you. And you have to do it very quickly, and you have to kind of do it in real time. So that is kind of what the business of sales is about. And that's what is discussed on the Surviving Outside Sales podcast, which I host daily on all major platforms. And it's also what I talk about in the Sales Builder Blueprint, part of the Sales Builder Academy. The Sales Builder Academy is we're the host of all of these different sales builder ideas that are going to be coming out. So if you want to reach out to me, Mike O'Kelly at Surviving Outside Sales, or you can go to mikeokelly.com for more information. Cheers. Have a good day. Bye.